Christ is risen. He is truly risen. Alleluia, alleluia. The preaching of Peter that we heard just now in that second reading really describes for us so vividly the dynamic effect, the impact that the resurrection of Jesus Christ had on his closest followers, his disciples, his friends. Listen again to a few of those words. Peter says, "We are witnesses of all that he did," meaning, of course, the Lord's dying and rising and everything else. Witnesses chosen by God. And he tells his fellow disciples, he commissioned us to preach to the people that he is the one appointed by God. Preaching the resurrection. There is the very heart, there is the very essence of the good news of Jesus Christ. That Jesus is risen, he is alive, he is present through the Holy Spirit in our midst, right here and right now. We too, like the first disciples of the Lord, are called to give witness to his risen life, his risen peace, his risen presence in our lives. And when we talk about our responsibility now in 2013, so many centuries, almost 2 millennia after the moment of the resurrection, we don't mean witnesses in the sense that we are eyewitnesses at that moment. Of course, we're not. But we mean witnesses in the sense of evangelization, that we witness to the risen Lord simply by the example of our Christian lives, so that others may be able to know that your life and my life, that our lives are different because we know that Jesus is risen from the dead, that he is the sure reason for our hope, that he is the source of our deepest joy, that he is the one to whom we can go with confidence for healing and for peace. We're called to be witnesses like that, proclaiming the presence of the risen one by word and by example. We're all very excited this year with the election of our new successor of St. Peter, Pope Francis. He celebrates his first Easter as Pope on this very day. And the day after his election, he celebrated Mass with the cardinals who had elected him. And he summed up his whole message in 3 words. He said, our Christian life is about 3 things: walk, build, and witness. By walk, he meant we must always walk in the presence of God. By build, he meant we need to build the church, not with stone and mortar, but to build the church that we are together as the community of faith, letting ourselves be living stones that build up that community. And finally, he says we must witness. He says we can walk, I'm quoting Pope Francis, we can walk when we want to, we can build many things, but if we do not witness to Jesus Christ, then it doesn't matter. Listen to this. When we don't go forward, we stop. We go backwards. When we don't build on rock, what happens? The same thing that happens to children when they build sandcastles at the beach. They wind up falling down because they have no solidity. And the Pope is realistic. 76 years of life, many ministries, many responsibilities as Archbishop of Buenos Aires in Argentina. So he knows, and he said there will be upsets, there will be problems, because we don't witness to Christ without sharing in his cross. And so many of you, in particular ways, through illness, perhaps through loneliness, share in that cross, and that is a redemptive thing. But we do all of that, not stuck at Calvary, but in the glow of the resurrection. I wish a blessed Easter to you, to all of those you love.